Let's do it. They just posted this like an hour and a half ago, right as we started stream, actually. Check it out. Check it out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Show me how you're going to fix AC Shadows, Ubisoft.
Greetings, Assassin. My name is Simon. I'm a...
Real quick, Simon is a cool dude. Simon's a cool dude. I met him at, like, I was going to say E3. E3's dead now. I met him at, like, in LA for Summer Games Fest when Ubisoft did their Ubisoft Forward event thing. He was there doing the gameplay demo. And then I also met him again in Quebec when we went to playtest the game. Really, really cool guy. Really, really cool guy. He's also freaking hilarious. We'll see how it plays out with this.
Associate Game Director on Assassin's Creed Shadows.
And I'm Dan, community developer. Assassin's Creed
Hi,
Shadows
Dan.
launched about a month ago, and it's been thrilling to see millions of you enjoying the game.
On behalf of everyone at Ubisoft Quebec, as well as all of our partners around the world who helped us on this journey, I want to extend a big, heartfelt thank you to our players.
But the launch of the game is only the beginning. Now we turn our eyes towards the future and review in this first video a little more about our post-launch plans.
Okay, year one post-launch roadmap. Again, their plan is to support this for like years and years. It's one of the fascinating things about the Assassin's Creed Giga games of recent memory, like Valhalla, for example, where Valhalla was supported much like an MMO compared to a standard or more traditional, single player game where it just received tons of expansions, tons of free updates, all sorts of insane stuff. And they're going to do the same thing here. Story drops, new difficulty settings. This was one of the things I said in my review I thought was necessary. I was like, they need a hardcore difficulty setting because right now the game's still too easy. Expert, the AI gets pretty good, but you have to put on expert. Regular AI is pretty stupid. But if you crank the difficulties up a lot, the game actually becomes totally different and actually way better in my opinion. So hearing that they might be working, that's interesting. Photo mode, I personally don't care. New game plus, it's good to have. I'm not too concerned. Community feedback updates. This is something they did with AC Valhalla. So, oh God, I'm sorry. Please don't unsub.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
I almost mispronounced it. That could have been bad. Special collaborations. That's got to be like crossover events or something. Parkour updates. This is what they hinted at before, adding new parkour moves and stuff. Specific feature updates, codex updates, and store drops. Yay! Let's see. New items in the exchange, new rewards, projects, and then, of course, the Claws of Awaji expansion. That is free if you pre-ordered. Otherwise, I think it's 10.
Between new free quests, specific features updates, codex update, special collaborations, and community-driven improvements, our journey together in feudal Japan has only just begun.
Ooh, auto follow the roads. This is one of the weird things that they had cut from Valhalla going into Shadows is they removed the ability to have the horses auto follow roads. You had to control the horse manually yourself as you rode around the world. I actually personally, I liked that change. I liked it. I know some people hated it. I get it. I appreciated that it made it so I actually had to pay attention while exploring, because one of the things with like Valhalla is that you would just set the point or set the landing location. Basically, you pin the point of interest you want to head to, and then you just hit like follow road, and you just like get up and walk away, go grab a snack, and then you come back and the horse arrived at the location. And to me, that's no better than just fast traveling there. Like, to me, it's giving me a button that makes me stop playing the game, and that's always been weird to me, is giving me a button that means I get to check out of your game for 30 seconds or for a minute or whatever. In my view, if your game is good, I should never want to turn that on, right? If the exploration is good, I should never feel the need to turn that on because it's always engaging. There's always something around the corner. Red Dead doesn't feel the need to do that with just like a get up and walk away thing. They do have a cinematic camera where like the camera starts panning around and doing interesting things. But even then with Red Dead, I'm pretty sure you have to still hold down the run button unless you're on like a train or something. So again, I personally like this. I liked that they removed this, but they're adding it back in. So there you go, whatever. But anyway, maybe that's one of my hot takes. Maybe that's one of my gaming hot takes, is that I like this kind of thing when they cut this.
First and foremost, we have our first expansion, Claws of Awaji, coming later this year, which is free for all of you who pre-ordered the game. This expansion opens up the island of Awaji, a brand new region for you to explore, which continues the story of Naoe and Yasuke after Shadow's epilogue ends. You can expect new abilities, new enemies, and a brand new weapon exclusive to Naoe, the bow staff.
Claws of Awaji will be launching later this year. The question is, what else can you expect until then?
We are planning free story drops, which will include new abilities, new allies, new activities, as well as flesh out some of the backstories of your fan favorite characters that perhaps need a little more screen time.
Free story drops. Okay, interesting.
The first story drop is titled The Works of Louis Froyce. This will give you a deeper look at this historical Jesuit scholar who has done extensive work on literature and accounts of the period.
Your feedback has been a core focus of the team throughout development, and that's not stopping now that Shadows is released. Regular title updates are coming. Each
Waterfall. It's beautiful. I love waterfalls. I don't know what it is. I've always found them beautiful. Everybody finds waterfalls beautiful. I've always found them particularly beautiful. Just like enchanting, or dare I say, enthralling.
with impactful additions and changes based on your feedback and requests, with some bug fixes to continue refining the experience across.
That's a good point, the poet. It's called Claws of Awaji, but the weapon is a bow staff. It is weird. You'd think it would be claws, but
All platforms.
For instance, one of the most requested feature from all of you parkour enthusiasts out there, we've been working on a first parkour update that will be coming later this May.
first,
I
there
can
will be more.
100% confirm that we're adding a height gaining back eject as well as a fully reanimated height gaining side eject and a new parkour interaction which is called the vertical ledge jump to grab awnings and low
Finally!
overhangs so the wall run is not an option.
This again just reaffirms for me the idea that they delayed and cut so much stuff from the game just to get the game out. Because I think before they got the delay from like the corporate leadership, they were struggling. And so they just had to start cutting tons of stuff that they wanted to add in. But now they're adding it in finally. But it's too bad this stuff wasn't here at launch. It just is too bad because I think it would have made the game even like more of a complete package. It's too bad that it's coming so late, but better late than never, I guess. Especially as free updates.
Also in May, we'll be expanding the photo mode with new filters and features, new character poses and facial expressions, and a new way to add ambient music to give you more options when it comes to capturing the beauty of feudal Japan.
We'll be releasing our second community feedback updates, which will allow you to customize your immersion even further. This will allow you to turn off individual visual effects, such as glints on weapons during combat, assassination filters, ability filters, as well as turn off the outlines around your characters during stealth sections.
Oh, sweet. So much better already. I'm liking a lot of these community feedback changes. I like that.
We're also expanding our alarm system, which you've experienced in castles, but now we bring it into the open world for even more challenge. Future updates will add the ability to toggle your headgear on or off during cutscenes. We're also adding a pretty fleshed out New Game Plus mode, which will significantly raise the level cap. And for all of you hardcore fiends out there, we're already hard at work on adding a new difficulty settings for both combat and stealth. Coming later in June, none of you will be unscathed.
One of the biggest pieces of feedback I gave, like at the preview thing we did, and then in the final release version of the game in my review, I said a higher hardcore difficulty mode would be so welcome. Because stealth stuff, one of the reasons why people play so methodically in like a Hitman game, right, is because if you don't stealth properly, you lose. Done. And you have to start over. So you're very careful and you walk through the level, carefully evaluating options. And then you do this and you time it just such that it works. And you think through everything very, very carefully because the stakes are so high. You know, like it's very intense. But the problem with like AC Shadows at launch was even on the expert difficulty for stealth, you get spotted, but then you just like go fight your way out of it and it's fine. You know, oh no, I got spotted. I'll just hit you to like, beat you to death with my sword. It's whatever. But if the stakes are higher, if the intensity is higher, if the actual physical combat is way more difficult for Nawe and the AI is even sharper, it will make me crawl on the rooftops, use all my tools and things, and be very, very resourceful and careful while I try to stealth towards a target. I love that kind of thing. And it's the same thing, like you remember with The Witcher 3, if you play on the normal, like standard, whatever difficulty in The Witcher 3, you don't really need to, at least in my opinion, you don't really need to engage with a lot of the deeper elements of the game. So you don't really need to mess around with decoctions, for example. You don't really, frankly, need to go and brew a ton of potions. You don't need to upgrade the potions. You can get through the game with everything pretty normal. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I've told this story before, but like this was a few years ago, where he was saying how he played through the entirety of the game and didn't realize that you could upgrade Swallow, like the healing potion. Just never thought. And I even tested it. I was like, I wonder if you can play through The Witcher 3 without ever upgrading Swallow. Because to me, it's like a no duh. Like you need to upgrade Swallow. But sure enough, I got like to the like end game and I never upgraded Swallow and I was still doing just fine. You just get better at like, you know, you take Gwen, you hold down the shield and then it heals you when it takes damage. You know, that upgrade. You can upgrade. How dare you, Ian? Yes. It's Real Serious says I never did either. Oh my God, guys, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Oh, for real though, it makes the game totally different. It's so good. But that's the problem is when the difficulty's too low, you don't need to do that. You can get, okay, Lucas says too. Is this just like way more widespread than I realized? Okay, I didn't even know. So apparently it's widespread. But that, I guess, is perhaps my very same point, and reaffirms the point. If the difficulty is high enough, it should encourage you to use all of your tools. And the highest difficulty should require you use every tool at your disposal. That's my perspective, at least. So if you're going to play on Death March on The Witcher 3, it should be balanced such that it's totally doable so long as you're using oils, so long as you are upgrading your potions, so long as you're using decoctions, so long as you're using upgraded or higher level armor sets and weapon sets and things like that. Carefully picking out which glyphs you apply where, and what's it called? Was it added in Hearts of Stone? I think it was the other level of customization. In Blood and Wine, they also added the other new layer of mutations that you can do, but there's another thing they added. I don't remember what it's called. I'm blanking on it right now. But they added I think in Hearts of Stone, another layer of customization for weapons and equipment and stuff. But anyway, my point is, when you crank the difficulty up, it should encourage you or even force you to engage with every single aspect of the gameplay. My problem with AC Shadows, primarily in terms of like stealth, was that even on the hardest difficulties for stealth, you didn't really need to use like the bells. You didn't really even need to use shuriken or other things. Yeah, the runes, thank you. The rune crafting thing, yeah, thank you. You didn't really need to use any of that stuff because the game wasn't hard enough to push you into using it. You could get through it just fine without that. So a hardcore mode, I think, is a phenomenal addition, and I am really hopeful that this is transformational.
We'll be sure to share specific dates when we have them locked in, as well as tell you about what each update will contain. So sit tight and get ready to take your Shadows experience to a whole new level.
Until then, don't forget to track down the Animus anomalies around Japan, complete projects, and visit the exchange for free gear and items for Assassin's Creed Shadows. You can expect more Animus content to come this summer.
Well, that's all we can share for now. So be sure to follow and subscribe to our channels to keep up to date on all the newest info for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Be sure to join our official Discord server and tell us what you want, how you feel, and drop your wildest suggestions for things we should tackle in the near future.
What's a wild suggestion I could recommend? I'm trying to think if there's something really wacky we could throw out and see if they actually do it. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. If you guys have suggestions, put it in the Discord. I'm curious. Because I can get it to them. I can let them know. It's weird. My entire community was saying that they would buy the game and spend so much money if you added Monster energy drinks to the game. I don't know why they said that, but like they just said it, and I wouldn't like make that up. You know, unicorn mounts. Yeah. Well, actually, there are all through AC Shadows. There's these weird like what look like stone monsters like out in the open world. There's like what looks like a giant bear, but it's a rock formation, and so it looks like rocks when you're just running around, but you pause and you look at it and you're like, that looks like a bear, but it's stone, huh? And there some people think that they're going to do like a big expansion or something where all of those things turn into legendary monstrous like magic, you know, whatever mid-level bosses and stuff. Or they turn into NFTs. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I asked them to turn it into an extraction shooter. Yeah, my whole audience, the whole community said that they wanted an extraction hack and slash game. I don't know. That's what they're telling me. Yeah, they said that's what they wanted. It's weird, but that's what they said. But anyway, I think that those are good changes. I'm excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see the expansion. Again, it's too bad that this stuff didn't just get done like even earlier. I would have hoped that this stuff would have been there at launch, but I think that that's just the core problem with rushing a game out, is that they try to rush it out and then they're like, oh, we didn't have time to finish it. So I guess we'll do that in the months after. But it makes me really curious what the game would have been like if it had launched when it initially was planned to. I think it really needed that delay. And Star Wars Outlaws had to be the wake-up call for them.
He took my thing. Red flag, red flag.